Hey guys, I'm Attaro. I'm 15 years old and hail from Belo Horizonte in Brazil. I've been living here all my life, and both my parents and four siblings, Paula, Marta, Rafael, and Enrique. Life has been quite normal until I recently got into a bit of trouble at school, which I'll tell you about pretty soon. But first, kindly drop a like on this video, comment on it, and subscribe to My Story World. I come from a close-knit family that prides itself in academics. Mama and Papa are professors in college, while all my older siblings are well-established accountants in some of the biggest banks in the city. Me being the youngest has always come with great responsibility, as everyone expects me to carry on with the family culture. Truth is, I never quite lived up to expectation, hence, I've always felt like a black sheep. I flanked all my exams and always finished last in class. I wasn't particularly good at any subject. I remember Mr. Javier, my school principal during basic school, would always visit my parents at home and warn them about my bad grades in school. He'd add, "Mr. and Mrs. Silver, if your son's grades don't improve, I'll have to drop him. It's not good for business." This would always leave Papa with a worried look. He'd sometimes scold me. "You ingrate! Look at your brothers and sisters! Why do you have to bring shame to the family?" He'd also add by threatening, "I'll send you to Uncle Pablo. Maybe life in Rio favelas will toughen you up." I'd burst into tears, run into my room. Mum, on the other hand, would always jump to my defense. "Calm down, Edison. We just need to be patient with him. He'll come good, trust me." My oldest brother, Rafael, would always encourage me with his words. He'd usually say, "Listen, Attaro, you can do better. Just be consistent with your reading." Before high school, I had 3 different after-school personal tutors, but that didn't help much. I was nicknamed Macho Man because I was always finishing last, and hence carrying the whole class. But all that changed last Christmas. Promotional exams for Year 2 was looming, and like always, I was so nervous. I had been repeated twice in grade 4 and grade 6. I didn't want that to happen again. God knows what Papa would do if that happened. So for the first time, I wanted to dedicate my leisure times to studying in the woods near our house. I wanted the peace and quiet from my family, as everyone was back home for the coming holidays. One Thursday after school, I went straight to study under the oak tree, as I usually did. I had already spent an hour, but just wasn't finding it easy with the studies. I paused and searched around the bushes for anything to take my mind off the difficulties. After wandering for some few minutes, I spotted an odd-looking silver pen. I picked it up to examine. It had striking features: a reflective cover, golden tip, and a "Make a Wish" inscription written on it. "This looks interesting," I said to myself. I turned it around and saw another inscription. This time it read, "Write it in your palm." That made me blink for a second. I said to myself, "Wait a minute. Is this some sort of magic pen?" I chuckled at the thought of it. I scribbled "Pass exams" in my palm, just for fun, as I did not believe in magic. I spent the next hour examining the pen until Marta started calling my name. "Attaro, it's time for dinner. Come on, hurry back." I quickly packed my stuff up and pocketed my new pen. When I finally got back to the fields across, I realised how long I'd spent in the woods, as it was already sunset. After dinner, I hid the pen in my drawer and got back to studying. But I just couldn't get my head straight to stay focused. My old patterns were coming back. Before I knew it, my first paper was due the following day, and I was ill prepared for it. I was so disappointed in myself. How could I have left that to happen again? Monday came so fast, and I was so tensed and nervous. I was getting ready for school that morning, when I suddenly remembered my magic pen. I pulled it out of my drawer and put it in my bag. I needed some magic now more than ever. I couldn't afford to let my family down again. I needed luck. And maybe that was my lucky pen. I got to the examination, sweating in my palm. The subject was math, my worst nightmare. Sitting next to me was Santiago, my arch enemy. He wasn't anyone's favourite, as he was fond of teasing. I knew I couldn't tend to anyone. I couldn't even cheat my way out of this. When the alarm went off to signal the start of the test, I felt a current run through me. I didn't know where I'd suddenly gotten the inspiration from. I managed to solve all the questions and was done an hour before time. It was as if I was under some spell. When I submitted my paper, I could see everyone staring at me with utter shock. The following day, I strolled through my next paper with ease. I came to the belief that my magic pen was actually manifesting its powers. My streak of good luck continued throughout the week, but funny thing is, whenever my mates walked up to me to discuss the papers, I couldn't come up with anything. I didn't know how I was somehow coming up with the answers on the sheets. When results came in the following week, I had topped my entire year group. Suddenly, I had become the talk of the town. Everyone was astonished, even the teachers and the principal. When I showed my report to my parents, they burst into tears of joy. I had finally made them proud. Papa got me a PlayStation as my Christmas gift. I have passed all my examinations without really learning enough, but I've kept it a secret all this while. I hope you understand why. But there's a twist in this tale. I lost my magic pen last month in a bus. I searched everywhere for it, but had no luck. I even went to the bus station to see if I could spot the bus I'd lost it in. No luck. And another promotional exam for year 3 was around the corner. I was so worried as I dreaded the old macho man would be back. I tried learning for hours and buried myself in my books, but nothing stuck. I finished all my tests last week, and I'm awaiting results. How well do you think I'll perform? Do you think I'll make it to year 3? Cheer me up, guys. I'm scared.